Welcome to your Aligned as Fuck Life podcast, hosted by your girl, Shalvika. I am a life transformation coach, a wife, a cat mom, pure generator, Enneagram 3, Pisces sign, and helping you build an aligned as fuck life is my jam. Out in this world, we believe that there are no set rules for building a life, career, and business. That we are all unique and we should be able to embrace our uniqueness in everything we do while shedding all the rules or bullshit rules one at a time. We will talk all things mindset, manifestation, healing, energetics, rituals, success, and so much more. I believe that I can have it all and you can too. Ready for an episode that will take you one step closer to your aligned as fuck life? Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Your Aligned as Fuck Life with Shalvika. Today is episode 42, and today's episode is titled Choose Again. This is honestly one of my favorite ways to shift states as human beings, and it is so bloody useful, especially when you find yourself in an emotional funk. I had recorded this as a small module for my 21-day manifestation experience, but I cannot wait for you to dive into this. Enjoy! Hello, and welcome to day 6 of the manifestation experience. Today's day is called Choose Again, and one of the most important things that I have learned in the last couple of years is switching states. Now, what do I mean by that, right? We're humans having a human experience, right? Emotions and ups and downs and feelings are a huge fucking part of who we are. They're a huge fucking part of what really differentiates us from so many species that exist in the world right now, right? So one of the things that I felt a lot of shame about, especially when it came to manifestation and, like getting what I wanted, was how many negative thoughts I had, or how much anxiety I had, or that ball in the pit of my stomach, that came up every time I thought about what is it that I wanted, right? And it's one of the most natural things to ever feel. It's the most natural thing to feel panic, to feel stress, to feel anxious, all of those things when you're trying to get something that you haven't already gotten. That's because your brain is trying to keep you safe from new experiences, right? So what we are going to do today is we are going to learn this method, which is based on the works of Abraham Hicks and Gabby Bernstein, called Choose Again, right? It's one of the most effective way to switch states. So when I say switch states, I do not mean in a toxic positivity culture sense. I don't mean to tell you that, always think positive, always look at the bright side of the rainbow. No, you can't. You fucking can't. It's very difficult when you're down in the drain and having a panic attack. It's very difficult. That's shitty advice, actually, to just be like, be positive and think about the positive side. Look at the bright side. Okay? So we're going to do something that is super simple, yet so fucking effective. This is something that I use almost on a daily basis because, again, hello, human here, I feel shitty thoughts all the time, right? So we are going to dive into the Choose Again method, which also is explained, the steps are explained in the workbook that's attached. So the first step of this is, like any other thing in life, the first step is awareness, right? So the first step is notice the thought. Like, ask yourself questions like, how am I feeling right now? And describe that. Describe that as honestly as you can. I prefer to write it down, but of course, I'm going to leave that up to you about how you want to go about it, right? So that is step number 1. Step number 2 is forgive the thought. we are so much in the habit of shaming ourselves for having a negative thought, because we are always told, be positive, look at the bright side, blah 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 blah, right? So we shame ourselves. And if you look at the scale of the emotional guidance scale that has been given in your workbook, shame is almost at the bottom of that scale, right? So when you shame yourself, you're just pulling yourself down from wherever you are to right the bottom of your emotional scale, right? So instead of that, we are going to forgive ourselves for having a shitty thought, and we are going to thank that thought, in fact, because gratitude is higher up, is much higher up on the emotional guidance scale than shame. So what we're going to do is we are going to go inwards, and we're going to go like, thank you to this thought for revealing to me what I don't want, so that I can actually focus on what I do want, right? So for example, again, we're gonna go back to the 10K example, and in your brain, you're like, oh my God, it's not possible. Oh my God, how am I going to handle 10K? Right? So I am going to thank that thought. Thank you for showing me that I don't want to be shitty at handling money, that I don't want to be shitty at handling more and more money. I don't want to be shitty at being a rich person, right? So thank you for revealing that to me, so that now I can focus on what I do want, which is I want to be smart with my money. I want to be in a headspace where I can handle $10,000 a month, right? So that's the switch that you're going to make, right? So step number 2 is thanking that thought and forgiving yourself for feeling and thinking that thought, right? And step number 3 is choose the next best feeling thought. So ask yourself, what is the next best feeling thought that I can have? Again, it's not a positive thought. I am not saying that you need to have a positive thought. That's not what we are doing. What we are doing is we are gonna find and choose the next best feeling thought, right? So I'm gonna be shitty at handling 10K. If this is my thought, right? I'm gonna choose the next best thought that I can think of, which is, for me, again, this can be different for different people. For me, it can be something like, I'm gonna learn how to handle 10K. I'm gonna learn how to handle that kind of wealth, right? Again, that's something that works for me. It's going to be different for different people. Excuse me. And I have also given the emotional guidance scale that is taken from Abraham Hicks' work. If you guys haven't checked out Abraham Hicks, please check them out. They are one of the most raw spiritual beings that are out there, and their work is phenomenal. So anyway, so the emotional guidance scale has been given to you in your workbook. The lowest on the emotional guidance scale is emotions like fear, grief, desperation. Again, in manifestation, we see a lot of desperation sometimes. Powerlessness, despair, right? These are at the most, like, bottommost emotions on the emotional guidance scale. And then there are feelings like insecurity and guilt, unworthiness, then jealousy, then hatred. So what we are going to do is we are going to try and move ourselves from a lower rank. And when I say a lower rank, it means a higher number on the guidance scale, right? Towards 1. It doesn't have to be 1. It can be even something like, I'm going to move from fear to a space of insecurity, or I'm going to move from fear to a space of jealousy, right? Like something like, when you look at others and you feel jealous, right? That's always better than when you're sitting yourself and feeling unworthy, or you're sitting by yourself and feeling like a shit ton of fear because you're like, oh my God, what is it that I want, right? So it's always better to feel jealous than feel fear. I know, like, yeah, that sounds really counterintuitive, but this works like a charm. Like, I have been, again, like I said, I've been using this personally for, I don't know, long time, like maybe 18 months or more, and it's been one of the best ways and easiest ways to switch state, to change my state from a low vibe emotion to a high vibe emotion. And I don't mean a low vibe emotion and a high vibe emotion in the sense that negative and positive. I just mean that getting you from a lower rung of the emotional guidance scale to a higher rung of the emotional guidance scale. I really hope you find this as effective as I do and practice this regularly in your life. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. If you absolutely loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on iTunes so that I can keep the good stuff coming. And if you aren't already following me on social media, come soak up some extra inspiration and send me a hello on Instagram by searching at Shalvika P. Also tagged in the show notes. I love and adore you so much, and I will talk to you super soon. In the meantime, continue building your most authentic and aligned as fuck life. Ciao!